First I want to give my history with the subject matter of this video, which is James Rolfe and Cinemassacre, and maybe some stuff about why I hate screenwave media. Unlike most people, I did not grow up watching AVGN, so I don't have any nostalgia for James. At best, the closest I watched of that in the late 2000s was some irate gamer, and a bit of something called gaming in the Clinton years. Hell, I think Chris Bore's The Irate Gamer is a bit better than AVGN, but I'll elaborate more about that in a separate video. The point is that I didn't watch AVGN from the beginning. The first time I ever watched anything from Cinemassacre was with their James and Mike Mondays videos, specifically the one about Super Mario Land. And at the time, I didn't even know that James was the one who plays the angry nerd character. That's how little I knew about him. At first, the only thing I cared about were actually his James and Mike videos. The only time I bothered to watch an AVGN video was with the AVGN Games episode. I thought it was fine, and that's it. But after a while, I started to hear more and more controversy surrounding Cinemassacre, and today I'm going to be commenting on some of it, specifically the infamous behind the scenes video from late 2021. Let's do it.
Hey everyone, I'm so glad you're still watching AVGN after 15 years. I'm so glad to have people with a good sense of humor to appreciate this stuff, and I hope to keep the entertainment coming. Hey, guess what? I just realized I recorded this entire video and realized this mic is not plugged in. The shotgun mic is plugged in. So, hey, at least you can still hear me, right?
Why are you leaving this in? This is like if I added in a video that I forgot to add something in a video while it is being processed. By the way, I'm going to say right now that I won't talk about everything in this video. Like his weird solution on how he produces videos like fast food, and how it makes him look like an out-of-touch old man, or how it is a chore for him to record gameplay footage from multiple game consoles, since he refuses to use emulators. There is plenty of videos out there that talk about all of that, and showing more efficient ways to produce videos quickly, so go watch those instead. I agree with most of what those people were saying.
Back to the video. I'll talk about some of the projects that you don't see, the ones that are all about maintenance, and I'll even address a few complaints of the asshole-ish variety, which does not represent the majority of you. But yeah, that'll be fun. Also, check in real soon for the Cinemassacre podcast.
No thanks. I know I could get shit for this, but I usually hate seeing nerdy-looking white boys that think they are morally above me, especially if they try to tell me what to do. I'm sorry, but those are very boring and unappealing looking people for me to care about your podcast. And of course, you as a whole are not very fun to listen to either as far as you speaking off the cuff goes. I'll talk more about this later, since there is a lot I could say regarding this.
Some people have asked me, why are you so busy? Most of the people who I've heard from are very nice and they mean well, but there's some who are just mystified or just can't fathom, like, why don't you have time anymore? Take a wild guess. What's the biggest thing that's different now? I have kids. I don't think I need to explain that. For anyone who doesn't understand what a big responsibility and time commitment that is, then ask someone who is a parent and they will tell you all about it.
Yes, I did see what people with families said about it, and guess what? Most of them basically contradicted James completely when he says it takes a lot of time away from you. So I don't think I can trust you on that. He also says the kids are awesome. Well, that might change as soon as they get older, especially with girls, since apparently he has 2 daughters. The reason I bring that up is because most females usually grow out of most of the stuff a father can provide, like male-based media they grew up with, that girls might enjoy when they are little, but I'm more than sure that they are going to grow out of it, and they are going to care more about themselves, and the typical stuff that females love, like cute or shiny shit. And yes, I know, that is harsh, but that's what I usually saw from not only one of my siblings, that is a female I grew up with, but also for other chicks, and most of them basically said the same things. They used to like Sonic the Hedgehog or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they no longer care about any of that mostly male-oriented media, and they instead care about becoming popular online or about cute girly shit. But it is what it is, and hopefully, James is going to be prepared for when his kids turn into young adults.
The kids are awesome, by the way. They're doing really great. Big thanks to my wife for helping keep this whole thing going. You want to talk about behind the scenes commitment? That's what that is. I must stress, I do not want to burn myself out working on these epic kind of videos all around the clock. I want to be there for the kids. That's my choice to balance my work and family life. Then COVID came along and made it harder to film with an in-person crew. If anyone wants to know why it's harder to film alone, here's one example from the Shrek episode. I had to tie myself in a chair with an onion in my mouth. That would be a really funny thing to walk in on, wouldn't it? That damn onion would not stay in my mouth. And anytime it would fall, well, I had to untie myself and start all over. Jesus Christ. Fuck! There goes the onion. Fucking shit! Have to start over. Boy, I wish I had a crew. Wish we didn't have COVID and all this fucking bullshit. God damn it. Alright. Fucking thing rolls, falls, and I'm trying to keep this laptop out of the frame. Since then, we've all been vaccinated and can be in person again finally.
Oh boy, I never thought I was going to see James as the angry Nintendo nerd, bitching about COVID. This is actually a good example of how much of a difference being genuine can make. The reason this is hilarious to me is because I can tell that he is genuinely pissed off. I honestly don't get the same enjoyment from his recent AVGN stuff. Because I know that he is just doing kinda bad acting in those videos, so he can get his YouTube paycheck.
But we're now in catch-up mode, not just with videos, but with personal life. Most people, I think, get that, but some don't and underestimate the toll that COVID had. Everyone was affected differently. You have to respect that. Some people had more time, some people had less time. Some people might have been the same. Some people might have been out in the world more. Others might have been locked down at home. Some people haven't seen their families till now. All different situations for different people. So, to the people who don't get that, it's worth reminding, we just survived through a pandemic. So if there's any time to cut us a little slack, it would be now. So when you have a project to do, but you don't have enough time, what do? You get help.
Actually, that's not what I usually do. If I simply don't have the care to finish a video project, then I either leave it abandoned for who knows how much, or I just post an incomplete version of it. Sure, it's not the greatest thing to do, but it is better than nothing at all. And the difference between me and James is that I do not make this for money. I'll just show a clip of James from years ago that pretty much says how I feel about making videos online.
The nerd episodes was just something I did for fun. I made them because I wanted to make them, not because I ever thought I'd get paid for them or anything like that. So I was doing the videos for free the entire year. Just knowing that people were being entertained by them was all the reward I needed.
I just don't have the same pressure he has on making videos, and because of that, I can do this without worrying about anything. If I did this for money, then it would feel like a job. And when it feels like a job, I simply don't want to do it, especially if all I'm going to get is negativity and hate anyway.
While most of the fans watching are really awesome and already get it, there's some people who are trying to be counterproductive to the whole thing by saying they don't like Screenwave, or they don't like them being involved in the videos, or whatever it is. Do these people not want me to have any help? Do they want me to suffer and do everything myself? They probably just haven't logically thought it through. Screenwave helps me make the videos. Without them, if I was doing it all by myself, you'd probably see only 3 videos a year. Would you want that?
Actually, yes. I would be totally fine with that instead of a bunch of soullessly produced videos. It seems like this guy has forgotten the meaning of quality versus quantity. It's so funny to me how once upon a time, people would shame others for uploading videos constantly, but now we have bigger YouTubers doing it. But basically what I'm saying here is, don't upload constantly if you don't care about this anyway. Hey, guess what? I forgot I was going to give another example on how contradictory and hypocritical people are, by mentioning how I remember a guy who calls himself Crap Gamer Reviews was exposed for reviewing games that he never played. Now why the fuck am I telling you this? Because this guy that everybody loves is basically doing the same thing, but arguably worse. Yes, I know, he used to not play in the gamma play footage back when he started this online thing, but there's still the difference, that he was still playing some of the games. Now he doesn't play a single gosh damn game. Sorry, but I don't think I'm going to care much about your videos, when I know you're basically making a fraud show that depends on the notion of nostalgia. I also don't like how he used to not use a teleprompter, but now he uses one, and because of that, his acting is even worse.
Well, this is the teleprompter. I use it for the longer speeches, especially for the movie reviews. Right now I'm rehearsing off the script because unlike the voiceover segments where I'm reading, this time I have to memorize it. I choose not to use a teleprompter or anything like that. Teleprompter.
Oh boy, times have certainly changed, but anyways. I actually thought that he was going to be releasing 2 AVGN videos a year, but then I was surprised to see how he was almost constantly uploading AVGN stuff. As for why we hate Screenwave Media, well, my reason to hate them is probably not the same as everyone else. You see, my reason to hate Screenwave is because they are kinda hostile when it comes to people using AVGN footage for anything including commentary. And that is actually how I first heard of Screenwave, because back in late 2018, I received a suspicious copyright claim from something called Screenwave Media. I did not know anything about them at the time, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who didn't know what the hell a Screenwave Media was. Anyways, they claimed a video I made that contained footage from the then recent Home Alone AVGN video, and I did a bit of a text commentary on it, but as soon as I uploaded it, I got the Screenwave claim, and they actually blocked the video later on. I actually disputed it, since I thought it was some kind of mistake, or some bot claiming videos. After that, my dispute was rejected, and the video was blocked again. In the end, I decided to take the video down, and upload it elsewhere. Now, I don't care if they had the right to claim my video or not. They definitely left a bad taste on my mouth by how they wasted my time with their claim. After all of that, I came across a video that shows the shady shit behind Screenwave, and why you should not join them, and to put it short, there is almost nothing they can do for you that you can't just do yourself. But yeah, that is why I don't like them, because they claim videos with AVGN footage regardless of being fair use or not. I actually heard from someone I know of that he had his video claimed as well. The video was a voice recorded commentary video on an old AVGN episode and some other stuff, and the video got claimed regardless of being fair use. So, that's not very nice from your MCN James, just saying. I also want to say that in my eyes, the reason he needs them is kinda his fault. If he actually cared more about what he does and put more effort and research on how to produce videos efficiently, in addition to know how to be more charismatic, then odds are that he probably wouldn't need Screenwave. If you ask me, he wouldn't need a shitty MCN if James was more efficient on how to produce decent quality videos. I can't believe that this guy has been doing YouTube for a decade and a half, and he's still relatively bad at producing videos.
And it wouldn't matter if I worked with somebody different. Over the years, people have given me shit for working with Screw Attack, game trailers. It doesn't matter. I think there seems to be a misconception that I don't do anything. I have no involvement and they do all the work. That is not true. I am working on AVGN and a ton of different videos. They help me. They collaborate on the scripts, but I still write too and have the final word on everything. I'm still the performer. I oversee the editing. I request changes. I'm still there. The kind of help they offer is unique because they're on the inside circle with me and have an up-close understanding of how everything works with my type of production. So hating on them for the work they do is not fair to them, and it's not fair to me.
Lol. His statements about how he does help make the videos has definitely not aged well, and that is saying something considering this video is not even 1 year old yet. But let me respond to the whole "don't be unfair to me" and my group of slobs thing first. Look man, life is unfair. I sure as hell can tell you a lot about that, and you know what, I don't have to be fair to you if I don't want to, because we are not friends. I don't want to be your friend, and we would never be friends anyway. Sure, that may be a statement of the quote-unquote assholish variety, but at the same time, people have the right to dislike how you or Screenwave are running the channel. And most importantly, if you made what can be considered a bad business choice, then you have no right to complain about how it didn't work out. And if people hate on the Screenwave guys, that's their fault, because they don't bother to be more charismatic or less stereotypical looking. And also, it is partially your fault that you didn't bother to introduce them properly. Apparently you thought that a 30 or so second intro would take care of that.
The other comment that I get every now and then is that I should quit AVGN. Sometimes it's from fans who mean well. They can tell I'm getting burned out or whatever. But hey, look, this is fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. And most importantly, this is my day job. This is how I pay my bills and support my kids. You want me to quit? I'd rather be doing this job than something boring. I'm lucky.
He definitely sounds like a snowflake in this video. Look James, having a job is not meant to be fun. It's cool when you can have an enjoyable job, but it's not the reason why you are supposed to do it. I wouldn't mind if you quit this YouTube thing in favor of something that can give you more money than whatever you gain on YouTube. As for how he said this is his job, I facepalmed so hard when I heard that. First I wanna say that what this guy's doing is not what I would consider a job, it is more like a hustle. Secondly, and I know this is harsh as hell, but I think you are less of a man if you're basically not willing to put up with a more difficult, but more monetarily rewarding job, just for the well-being of your family. I'm sorry, but it's hard for me to believe you are a responsible man when your method of feeding your family is with stupid ass videos where you behave like an immature asshole and cussing your ass off. You are a 40-year middle-aged man now. Don't you think there is something wrong with feeding your family via immature videos with over-the-top bad acting? I could say similar things about your weirdo buddy Mike and his plentiful bitch energy, but at least he is being genuine when he rages and yells at a game like a bitch, and because of that, it is more genuine funny content to watch. And if he doesn't like how I called him a bitch, then sorry Mike, but yelling and raging at a game is not manly. It's called having bitch energy, and it is not my fault if you chose to make a profit out of that, but then you complained about people criticizing you for said bitchy behavior. Hey, I guess the fuck what? I realized that I was also going to talk a bit about how this guy has seemingly never called out his friend Mike for the shit he has done with his social media. Sorry James, but if you never called him out for showing a dick pic on your social media, then that also makes you less of a man. If James was a true friend, then he would call Mike's weird ass out for putting his reputation and business at risk. I could go on and on by mentioning how apparently he never said anything when his buddy Mike leaked a private message that Chris Bors sent to James. This guy's definitely giving Mike way too much access to his stuff. But I'll talk more about that in a different video.
And I know that most of the people who say that are nice and kind, and they just mean, hey, you don't have to keep doing this. You're allowed to quit if you want. And I appreciate that. But what I'd also like to hear is, hey, you're allowed to do a basic episode or do them less often rather than going to the most extreme to quit. Maybe someday the time will come, but not now. And if and whenever it does, I'll let you know.
I cannot begin to tell you how many times this guy has shown signs of wanting to put AVGN to rest, but because he made the mistake of making this his primary source of monetary income, now he is forced to do something that he admittedly kinda hates. And also, I don't like how he's asking us to be okay with how he runs things. While you can do whatever the hell you want with your channel, we don't have to basically tell you what you wanna hear. If your content sucks old farting ass, then that is on you, and frankly, I think you should quit before you become the villain, instead of dying as a hero, if you understand where I'm coming from with that.
And hey, don't you want me to make it to episode 200? I'm almost there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this rambling behind the scenes talk. It's tough to make a video about not having much time when you don't have much time.
Stop talking. Just stop talking about that. I don't want to hear that I have no time claim anymore, because the more I hear it, the more it comes up as a tired old excuse. And needless to say, I start to question more whether you're being sincere or not every time I hear you saying, I have no time. I think what he's really trying to say is, I don't have the patience, skills, or general care to bother with anything. But that's James' infamous behind the scenes video from late 2021. Like I said a while earlier, I think this video hasn't aged well when it comes to how he said that he just put supervision when the videos are produced, and of course, making scripts. Obviously, all of that was shot to hell when we found out that he and his crew of slobs were plagiarizing other people's articles and so on, which made James look like the typical YouTubing liar that thought he wasn't going to get caught lying. He did make a video addressing the whole plagiarism thing, but it was suspiciously uploaded onto the Cinemassacre Plays channel, rather than uploading it to the main channel, but in my opinion, it didn't really help him save his reputation at all. Besides, every time these guys from Cinemassacre try to address anything, they might end up generating more questions, due to how vague they are when addressing anything. Sorry James, but the damage is already done. Because guess what he did with that video he uploaded on the Plays channel? He actually unlisted the video entirely. Yeah, I can definitely confirm that he cannot be trusted. As soon as I see you trying to hide stuff, I no longer trust you, or anything it comes out of your mouth. Now, he did seem to learn from what happened, and now his recent videos feel a little more genuine compared to what came before, so at least there is that. I still think he should retire though, before he messes things up even more. There's a reason why some of those old games you bashed to death were bad, and said reason might be the same reason your recent videos are bad, because they were made with very little care or passion. Basically what I'm trying to say is, don't ruin your legacy. I'm sure that James would probably not take me seriously, just because of the harsh stuff I said, but what do you expect? I don't owe you jack shit. So, sorry your majesty, but I don't feel like trying to be nice with you, especially because your MCN wasn't nice to me either. Sure, it's not a bad idea to ignore drama or trolls, but at the same time, you need to understand that doing that is not going to always work. That is all for now. See you again.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky. I'm lucky.
You don't win by being lucky. You win by being bold.
Thanks for your words of enthusiasm, champion.